Hello guys, I've just finished a breathwork and meditation class. I hadn't been in a while and my teacher asked, basically said, oh, it's been quite a while. And I let him know that yesterday I finished the Vipassana meditation course, and he was asking about it, and then the girl next to me said she'd done one in the last year and now she felt inspired to do another one, and it led to this really beautiful, heartfelt, vulnerable conversation between us, and we exchanged numbers. We're going to practice meditation together and hang out, and I just feel like that was a sign. I've been really feeling over the meditation course that I need to share some of the experiences I had. So I think it's a sign from the universe. I've seen the number 888 like 5 times since I came back yesterday. So I think it's a sign that somebody out there might need to hear the messages I have to share. I don't think anything happens for a reason, so if you're seeing this video, perhaps something in here will resonate with you. So what was my reasoning behind doing the Vipassana course? I heard about it a few years ago. When I first heard about it, I was like, wow, these people are either a bit out of this world. I was like, I don't know who would put themselves through that 10 hours a day of meditation for 10 days. As the years went on, I kept seeing signs like people sharing their Vipassana experiences. I still didn't think I'd do it. But earlier this year, like in the summer, I just got this feeling deep inside that I needed to do it. Unfortunately, I couldn't get on the course at that time, so I just went on my own yoga retreat in Spain. But I applied again and I got a space for October into November. So I was really nervous. I didn't really think much about it until on the drive to the Vipassana course. I just felt really nervous. I started feeling sick. I was like, what have I got myself into? But then I just reassured myself I'm meant to be here. It's a sign. But yeah, going back to why I did it, I'd never really learned how to meditate. I was really interested how to learn, and I noticed that in my day-to-day life I avoid some of the feelings I'm feeling and the sensations. So like in my body, I find it quite difficult to connect in that aspect. So I'll distract myself with maybe exercise, get rid of the emotion, but I really wanted to learn how to just channel the energy and just process it as well. So that's the reason I signed up. It's not an easy course. After doing it, I have so much respect for monks, people who dedicate their life to meditation, and to sit with a mind for 10 hours a day is not an easy thing. Like, you're constantly confronting your own inner battles, your limiting beliefs. So it's not easy, and I commend anyone who dedicates their life to that or even tries the 10-day retreat, because it's not a retreat. That's misleading. It's not a retreat. It's work, as Goenka, the person who leads the teaching, would say. It's work. So on the day I arrived at about 4 p.m. You get a bag for your phone, you put your phone away, you commit your phone to them for 10 days. Mine ended up being like 12 days, but only 10 days were meditation. So I wasn't in contact with anyone for 12 days, nearly 2 weeks. We were all allowed to sit in the room up until about 8 p.m. We had dinner together, so we got to know a few people beforehand. I met a girl called Lauren who ended up being in my room, and Solange. Those were my two kind of, I'd say they ended up being my pillars of stability. When I felt a bit upset or demotivated, I'd look over to them and see that they're still here and that I can do it. But yeah, we spoke about things, finished the day with a meditation of 45 minutes explaining the technique we were going to do, and went to bed, and that was the start of our silence. So from 8 p.m. on the first day, basic structure is alarm bell rings, it's a gong, someone comes around with a gong at 4 a.m. Meditation starts at 4:30 in the morning. You go into meditation 2 hours until 6:30, then you have breakfast, and then you do another meditation. I'll insert a timetable because it's quite a lot. Do a 2-hour meditation and then a 1-hour meditation as well. Have lunch for 2 hours. You can ask questions with the teacher. Our teacher was Eva. Oh, a fox just walked past. That is a sign. I keep getting signs of foxes. Okay, let me not get distracted. Yeah, 3 hours in the morning, then you had your lunch, And then this was the tough one. You do an hour and a half meditation, another hour, 10-minute break, another hour, 10-minute break, and another hour and a half. So that's like 4 hours meditation without a break, basically. And then you have a tea break, and then you have another hour meditation, and then you have a discourse, which is Goenka, who founded the Dharma centers. He's no longer on the physical earth anymore. He's passed on. But he gives an hour talk, which ended up being something I looked forward to every day. He was so funny, and I found him really cute. Very inspiring. And yeah, and then we did a 45-minute meditation, and then lights out 9:30. That period between 9:30 and getting to bed, you're so exhausted by the end of the day that everyone's running to get to the shower first, because there's only 2 showers between like 30 girls, so it's a bit of a nightmare. In the end, some people started showering in the afternoon to avoid the rush hour. But yeah, and that's basically the structure of the day. So the first 3 days you are following your breath through your nose, so you're not altering your breath in any way. You're following your natural rhythm of your breath, trying to feel the sensations in the nostril. You're noticing which nostril you're breathing out of, any sensations, but basically just following that breath 10 hours a day for 3 days. In my mind, I realized I was very distracted. Everything was irritating me. The girl next to me was sighing every 10 minutes, and it was just all the agitation, and the teacher told me all the impurities coming out, and I just need to surrender. That was very good advice from Eva, because that really helped me to let go. The next from day 4 to about day 9, you practice Vipassana. No, I'm getting that wrong. On day 3, you narrow down the sensation to the lip area, so you feel for the vibrations. So all over your body you feel tiny vibrations, but they're felt by your subconscious mind. Your conscious mind isn't aware of that. So you really have to connect with a deeper level of consciousness to feel the vibrations on your lip. And because you're focusing on a small part, it sharpens the brain, allowing it to become more sensitive to sensations. So you do that for the 3rd day. And then on the 4th day, you're introduced to Vipassana technique, which is where you then begin to feel the vibrations on the entire surface of your body. In order to do Vipassana, you're not allowed to move. So even if you're in excruciating pain, which happens several times, you have to remain equanimous. So you can't react, you can't associate pleasant sensations with craving, and you can't associate really painful experiences with aversion. So it's about keeping your mind balanced and just viewing it objectively, so not attaching any meaning to sensations, just viewing it as a sensation, which is a lot easier than it sounds. Well, it probably doesn't even sound easy, but it was incredibly difficult. That first session, Goenka, he was like doing a guided meditation, and about 20 minutes in, my left hip and my left knee, that burning sharp pain, I was like, now I know how people with septic arthritis feel, like burning hot joints. I couldn't move. And the more he's talking, my body's burning up because the pain's becoming so intense. I feel heat, everything. I'm just clinging on. I'm not surrendering. I'm not being equanimous. I'm doing everything that you shouldn't be doing. And I'm like cursing Goenka in my head. After, I had to apologize in prayer. I was like, sorry Goenka, please forgive me for the language I might have used. Yeah, that was difficult. I asked my angels for signs all the time for support. And at the beginning of the course, I asked for a few signs on the way. And I was like, if I'm ever going for a very difficult moment, show me a rainbow, I'll feel more. And as soon as I came out of that hall with that pain, I was like, I don't think I can do this. I think I'm going to quit. Crying on the bench to myself. There were grey clouds in the sky. It started raining. I was like, oh, this is it. It's over. And then I look in front of me, and what does appear? A rainbow. Like, I was in the center of the rainbow. And thank you for coming through, angels. You always do it. You could tell the energy was quite dense in the room of all the students. I saw this rainbow. We were just like, I think everyone was crying. But yeah, that was a beautiful experience. And then after that, I kind of surrendered a bit more to the moment. I noticed after day 1 ended, I became, without your phone for a day, without any stimulation, you're actually sitting with your thoughts that have been deep down. Found my imagination was really like vivid and prominent. I was seeing all these creatures that I've probably seen in my fantasy books. They were like luminescent, kind of cartoonish. Like, my imagination was just going crazy because I'm trying to obviously entertain myself because I'm bored. But that was really interesting, and it was quite fun to see what was going on deep down. I had a moment where just not surrendering at all. I felt very restless, especially in the afternoon session. The girl next to me was clicking and sighing. It was getting even more frustrating. So I decided, I was sitting at the back row, decided to sit against the wall with a cushion. And one of the helpers came around. She's like, Sean, I'm so sorry, but you can't sit here. You can either go to your room and meditate or sit here. But I was like, oh, okay, I'll surrender. I'll sit on my mat. And then I immediately just burst into tears. My throat was fizzing up, like I couldn't breathe. You know, when you're to say something really vulnerable and you're about to cry, you're stopping yourself from crying, and you get that pain in your throat. That's what was happening, and I was having all tense chest, storing so much agitation, anxiety up, but I'm suppressing it, and that's my like regular pattern to suppress it. 10 minutes go by, it's getting less and less, and then I just feel waves of energy coming. And as soon as I let go, this wave of energy just flooded my body, and I just felt so light because I let the emotion pass. That must have been stored in me for like 10 years. And I forgot to say that the reason that the memories and feelings come up is because bridging the connection between your conscious mind that recognizes the now and the subconscious, which is stored in the body. As you activate the subconscious mind more and the connections grow stronger, emotions come up that are stuck in the subconscious mind. So it's a really beautiful experience to see like what you've been holding on to, and to actually feel it in your body and feel it be released. Oh gosh, I'm getting awkward, people walking by, but forget it, Sean, you can do this. Yeah, so that emotion come up, and I basically realized that what I was holding on to was control. I'm always trying to like control my environment so it can be perfect and nothing can go wrong, not accept the moment, so accept the noises happening around me. Is making me resist the feelings. I'm scared to let go of control because I'm so scared to be helpless. Like I flashed to a moment in childhood where I felt really helpless of my situation. I'd had no escape, so I just used to like dissociate from my body. But in this moment, all I had to do was surrender, and once that control let go, like the noises around me stopped bothering me because I wasn't so focused on being in a perfect environment, creating the perfect situation so I could have the results I wanted. I kind of just let go and went with the flow, and that was such a beautiful experience. Like I felt so light. I was crying happiness, tears. And then as soon as that happened, the gong went off to end meditation. I was like, oh, perfect timing. I went for a walk in nature. And the thing is, because you've got nothing to do, you become so connected to nature. So tiny little cobwebs that are frozen over in the morning, they look like crystals. The morning dew of the grass, so beautiful. It looks like little crystals in the grass when the sun's shining on it. Just like so many animals. I saw an owl, deer, in tune with nature and so connected. And it's such a beautiful thing because you understand how connected we all are to nature, to each other and our environment, and you're never really alone. Bit of a sidetrack. I had ups and downs through the day, so I'd have these profound moments, but then I'll go right back into like these dense emotions that I was holding on to. On a few of the days, I just had this intense like rage because I've constantly suppressed my anger. We've been taught anger is bad, kind of weakness and things like that, silly things. But I realized I had all this sacred rage that was coming up, and I was just feeling it, and it lasted hours, but I just kept sitting with it, and then it finally released, and it was just, everything was emotional. I basically cried every day. Days 7 and 8 were definitely tough. So close to the finish line, but you're not close enough. You really have to practice surrender because your mind can really play tricks on you, and you're basically, people are like looking at me. But yeah, your mind plays tricks, and if you don't surrender to the moment, you cause so much suffering. And day 6 really taught me that my mind's responsible for the lot of suffering I experience. So I'm always trying to plan the future, and when it doesn't happen, I feel anxious, I feel fear. Or I'm living in the past and I'm overthinking memories, I'm not letting go. I'm not living presently, and the only moment you can control is this present moment. If you can be so in your body, engrossed in the present moment, there's nothing really to worry about. If you're eating, you're healthy, you've got food, you've got shelter, then there's nothing really to worry about. Obviously, we have some serious problems like in our life, like maybe financial, but in that moment, we're so consumed sometimes with the problems that we forget that life is just about living right now. I don't know if that makes sense, but in my mind it makes sense. Ask any questions you need me to explain. I'm better at typing as well. I'm trying to improve my speech because I keep getting signs that I need to use my voice, so I'm trying, and it's okay. We don't have to be perfect at everything. We can be a novice, and it's so beautiful to see imperfections, that also came up on the course. We're not perfect, and we're not meant to be perfect. Like, you never look at a tree or a group of trees and think, oh, that one's really beautiful, that one's ugly. Like, they're all so different colors, different shapes, different scars, different marks, branches, and they're all so beautiful, just as beautiful as each other. And I think that's all of us, really. Like, we're all so different. We have different skills, different areas of weakness, or things we need to grow in, and that's the beauty of being human. We don't have to be perfect, and I just keep reminding myself that perfection is an illusion. It doesn't exist. Maybe the world we live in thrives on our insecurities and in ourselves and not knowing ourselves, because we're easier to manipulate, but that's a story for another day. Day 10, stillness. I only had to do it for 3 hours of the day, so the group sessions, which was on the timetable. All the rest, we had a choice whether we sat in stillness or we moved about. I committed myself to doing the 2-hour morning meditation at 4:30 in complete stillness, because I really wanted to get to the bottom of the pains that were coming up. So I was really learning to be equanimous to the pain, and as you go on, it's such a mesmerizing experience. You're in this severe pain. You learn to feel the vibrations in the other parts of the body, remain equanimous. I think I'm saying that right. If I'm not, that's funny. Eventually, you become so used to the pain, they become so normal that you just feel them fizzle out. And that's basically you letting go of any traumas or stresses or control over your body. And it really just shows you on the physical level of your body how everything is impermanent, or the saying in Pali, I believe it is, Anishka, Anicca, which means impermanence. Like, nothing lasts forever. Pain will pass, joy will pass, so we just need to enjoy this present moment with a balanced mind. So I was so proud of myself. The first time I sat in 2 hours, my body was moving. The chanting goes on for 30 minutes towards the end, just wasn't ending. I was like, come on. But as the days went on, I gradually became more and more neutral to the pain, and I just accepted that it was part. It was such a beautiful experience just to see permanence in real life. For my ability to deal with difficult things just really improved. I'm just so proud of myself for not giving up on myself. Like, you see people leaving the hall, which is fine to meditate in their room, but I just chose to stay in the hall. There were moments where I was just so proud and grateful to be there, and that I was led to do the retreat. But yeah, had many moments of ups and downs, just feeling such great deep gratitude in my heart. Last day of meditation, we'd already done a group 1 hour session at 8 a.m. and then it was on the 2 hour. I wasn't going to sit in stillness for that one, but Venka had a really inspiring talk. He was like, don't give up on yourself, commit to this, don't make any new sankharas, and commit to this process. You only have one life, give yourself the chance. And that made me so emotional that I just sat for 2 hours. I was in pain for an hour and a half of the 2 hours. It wasn't passing, but I remained neutral to the pain. And then suddenly, as the pain was fizzling out, I got this message in my soul that I'm so lucky to be able to sit here and process my trauma and pain, my ancestral trauma. I'm doing this. I was the chosen one in my lineage to have this opportunity. My ancestors went through great suffering. They didn't have the opportunity to sit with what they were going through. It was just survival. But I'm here right now, and I have so much opportunity to heal and to grow. And this is my duty to let go, live peacefully, let my new lineage that's to follow have a peaceful and happy life, no more suffering, no more sankharas. I cried about that, how grateful I am for my ancestors allowing me to be here and to heal this generational trauma that's going on, ancestral trauma. And I just knew that I was meant to be there at that moment, and I needed to like use my voice more and be more confident in myself, not give up on myself. This is bigger than me. It's not just my healing. This is the healing of humanity and all consciousness, and we're all connected. It's our duty to help each other and share our experiences so people know that they're not alone, and just to be kind to each other. And going through that experience, you really never know what anyone's going through. It's made you have so much compassion for each other, because we're all committing 10 days of our life for our healing and for our growth. So inspiring to be with a group of people who want the same thing as you and who want a better humanity and a better self. So yeah, that was a really beautiful experience. And then on the last day, it wasn't like a real day. We only had like 3 hours of meditation, and we could break our silence so we could all mingle again. And we did a metta meditation, which is you feel the vibrations in your body and you fill it with love, compassion, gratitude, and you send it to everyone in the room. And the energy was just so powerful. The servers, which are previous students of Vipassana, which come back to volunteer and pay back a favor, walked into the room and I could just feel the energy of love they experienced. And then we got to talking. My social battery drained within like 10 minutes because I was just so used to the silence. But I was also grateful to hear people's experiences, and they just like, I had a beautiful conversation with one of my roommates, Emelek, that she also felt like she had to write a book or do a podcast to share what she was going through. So I think it's important to have representation, like women, working class women, people of color, to really use their voice and show other people that look like us that healing's possible. It's not just for a certain group of people. Spirituality doesn't have to have a certain look. It doesn't have to be attached to a religion. It's a real internal journey, and it doesn't matter who you are, which background, religion, culture. The whole point is to stay in that frequency of love and to connect with each other. Like, that's all life is about. And the sooner we can let go of the stories, of the attachment to the items, the nice clothes, the how do I look, the such superficial things, the sooner we can connect on a deeper level, and we can be more conscious of how we're treating each other, how we're treating the earth, and live a more like sustainable life that feels nurturing, not just to your ego but to your soul. Because I think we're all born babies in our purest form, and we kind of lose that touch with ourselves, our playfulness as a child. More serious when we're conditioned to look a certain way, act a certain way, have a certain job or level of success, have children by a certain age. We're just constantly fed these fears that keep us stuck in this frequency of fear and disconnection. As soon as we drop back into who we are in our core, our nature, lose all like attachments to things that don't really mean anything. It's nice to have nice things, but you don't have to be so attached to it. The sooner we can connect with each other and enjoy life, because life is for enjoying. It's not for stress and worrying all the time. I know some people's circumstances are more difficult than others, and I'm coming from a very privileged place with a roof over my head, regular food, not worrying about money anymore. But we can all make each other's lives a bit easier if we do just connect with each other. And I hope someone out there has resonated with some of the messages I had. I'll insert a clip of the surroundings. The trees were so beautiful. I went in autumn, so it was orange leaves and all flowing on the ground. I thought I was in like a movie on the way up. But yeah, I hope I've inspired someone else to do a Vipassana retreat. It's scary, it's to confront your mind, but I believe in you, and I believe that if I can do it, so can you. If not, I hope you've taken something from this video. I hope that I've inspired you to connect more. Go easy on me, I'm speaking from my heart. But I've got to stop worrying how it's going to be received. As long as it's coming from a place of pure intention, which it is, I could just hope that someone who needs to hear it can hear it. I love you guys. I'm so proud of you all. Whoever's shown up today, done something that they didn't feel like doing, but they knew it was for the best for them. And those who didn't have any motivation at all, I still send so much love to you guys. And I hope this is the start of me doing more videos from my heart, because it feels so nourishing. Bit of a random one, but I just felt called to, and I keep receiving the signs. So before I go into no motivation tomorrow to speak from the heart, I just want to do it while I feel motivated and inspired and in the frequency of love and connection. So it's coming from a pure place. But bye, see you in the video, hopefully.